Hi everyone, and welcome to your online theory class. For those of you who can't make it, this is your video. I expect you to watch the video on YouTube here and pause it as necessary. Make sure you have staff paper ready to go. Make sure you have a pencil ready to go. You're going to need to take notes. If you need to pause it anytime, please do. Rewind, obviously. I'm going to ask you to pause it at certain points so that you can try to do the exercise that I put here on this trusty whiteboard here, and then resume it whenever you're ready to go. Alright, so hope you guys have a great break whenever you get to watch this, and I do expect that the homework is done for next class. It will count, so please do it. I have emailed you all the homework, so you should be able to print that out in PDF format. Alright, here we go. So the first thing I want you guys to do is build a major chord here. Alright? You can do treble or bass clef, obviously I don't care. I like treble clef. We're going to be doing a D major chord. Alright? And leave plenty of space way over here. We need to be building 3 chords. Okay. Pause the video now. Whenever you're ready, resume it. And here we have our D major chord. Hope you guys got that. This is called root position. It's called root position because the one of the chord at the time, which is D, because we're in D major, is the lowest note on the staff. Does that make sense? D is the lowest note on the staff, so therefore we are in root position of a D major chord. Okay? Call that root position. Now, we can change this chord around while still giving it the same quality of chord. Like I said, we're in root position, D, F sharp, A. It's happy, it's a major chord. However, we can switch this chord around to make now a different note in the bass of the same chord. Still sounds like a D major chord, but now the D is no longer in the bass. Now I put the F sharp in the bass. So what I played was this: F sharp, A, D. Now I don't have my snowman anymore. Now I have F sharp in the bass, A above it, and now my D comes even higher than that. Okay? We call this first inversion. This does not change the quality of the chord whatsoever. It still has all the same notes: D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A. The only difference is the F sharp is now in the bass. We're going to discuss why this is important later, but let's get used to how to write these inversions. Okay? So that is first inversion. If we were to number these, 1, 3, 5 of the chord, now the third is in the bass. Okay? So now we have one more note we can put in bass, and that is the 5th. The lowest note now will be my A. When the 5th of the chord is in the bass, we call that second inversion. For triads, there's only 2 different inversions: first and second. That's it. Root position, first inversion, second inversion. So we have the 5th in the bass now, which is our A, and then we stack the rest of the chord on top. So there's our D, which is our 1, and our F sharp, which is our 3. Okay? I would like you to repeat that exercise for the chords E flat and C, please. You can pause it now and then resume whenever you're ready. Okay, I'm just going to review one of those, and I'll do C major right now. C major. Alright, root position. Obviously, C is in the bass. then E, and then G. First, third, and fifth of the chord at the time. Okay? Now the next thing we're going to do is put it into first inversion. So now the third is going to go in the bass, and that's our E. Here we have E in the bass, then G, and then our C. All right. The last one we're going to do is second inversion. Now we have to put the fifth in the bass. Now, if you take this fifth and put it in the bass, and then put the third way up here on top of this, it's going to make you kind of high for the bass clef. So we want to lower it, and this is called octave transposition. And we're allowed to do this at any point. It doesn't change anything about the quality of the chord. All it does is lower an octave so it fits more easily on the staff. So what we're going to do is, instead of putting the G up here, we're going to put the G down here. So now the G is in the bass, and that's our fifth to make it our second inversion. Then the C, then the E. And there's our second inversion. Again, it does not change the quality of chord because we still have the C, E, and G, just they are in different parts of the staff right now. Okay? One thing I want to talk about, there's things called chord symbols. You're going to see this a lot of times in jazz music and rock music, anything like that. They just want to kind of tell you the chord. You won't see Roman numerals usually when you see a chart on something. You'll see more of these chord symbol things to tell you what chord to play. So if you were to see this, if you wanted to play this chord, if the composer wants you to play this chord, what they would write above the music is this: C, or sometimes C major, C maj. Okay? That tells the musician that they want to play these three notes in that chord, C, E, G, if they see the C maj. Okay? First inversion, what you're going to see is this: C maj over E. That lets whoever's playing know that it's going to be a C major chord, but they want to put the E in the bass note. Okay? The bass note being the lowest note of that chord. And lastly, second inversion, it would be C maj or over G, because G is the fifth for a second inversion. Okay? Now that's true no matter what. All right? It's always going to be that over the fifth, that over the third, or nothing for the root position. All right? Okay. So, when we put these into Roman numerals, we have to kind of do something with them to show the inversion, because you can't put, like, 1 over E or 1 over G. It doesn't quite work. So we need to add numbers. If we are in the key of C major here, okay, let's assume that this is our 1 chord for now, all right? And we want to analyze this triad in our music. And we're in the key of C. A C major chord in the key of C would obviously be our 1 chord. This is what we've been doing for the whole entire class so far. We're just putting things in root position, labeling its Roman numeral, and going on our way, okay? Now, we have to try to label these inversions with our Roman numerals. What we do that, we still write a 1 chord, because it's still a C major chord is still a 1 chord in the key of C, no matter what's in the bass. But now to signify that that E is in the bass, we need to put this, a 1-6. Whenever you have a Roman numeral with a little 6 next to it, that means that chord is in the first inversion of that chord. The reason why they put the 6 is because C to A creates a 6th. Or sorry, E to A creates a 6th, my bad. E to C. I'm sorry. It's not even 7:30 yet. E to C creates a 6, which is why we can put the Roman numeral and a little 6 there. That tells the composer, okay, play the 1 chord in first inversion. And as a musician, you should know that a C major in first inversion, the E is in the bass. Last but not least, we have our second inversion. In order to signify this, we put a 1 and then 6, 4. 1, 6, 4. The reason being is because from the bass, G to C creates a 4th, and then G to E creates a 6th. And there's our 6, 4. Okay? If that doesn't make sense, rewind the video, check that out again. We're going to go to a minor chord now. I'm going to do this one in bass clef. And let's do G minor. Leave plenty of space so we can write more chords. We are going to do a G minor chord. Okay? Please do it in root position. Pause the video. When you are done, come on back. Okay, here we have our root position G minor chord. Okay? A chord symbol for this would just be G minor, G min. If I was to see that as a musician on a chord sheet or something like that, I would say, okay, my important notes are G, B flat, and D. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is put it into first inversion. See if you can do that. Pause it and then come back when you're ready. Okay, back here in the root position we had 1, 3, and 5 of the chord. Now in first inversion, we have 3 in the bass, then 5, then 1. By the way, I assume that you know your minor chords now. You should know that it's the same as a major chord except you flat the third by a half step, and that's where that B flat comes in. So now we have our first inversion. B flat's in the bass, we still build our chord. Notice we still have B flat, D, and G. So the quality of the chord does not change. It's still considered a G minor chord, however the third is in the bass. We label this as a chord symbol like this, G min over B flat. Okay, do your second inversion, pause it, and come back when you're ready. Okay, now we have our second inversion. The fifth is now in the bass, and the fifth is our D. So we have 5, 1, 3. If you've seen the pattern already, this would be G min, or G min, over D, and that creates our second inversion. Let's analyze this now in the key of F. So, G minor in the key of F would be our minor 2. F, G. So it's our minor 2. To signify that in Roman numerals, we'd simply put a 2 here for our root position. We don't need any numbers for it whatsoever because we are in root position. There is no inversion. G is in the bass. Therefore, it creates a third and a fifth above the bass. We don't need any numbers here whatsoever. Okay? If I was to see that as a musician, I would know G is in the bass. First inversion, we still go back to what we had before. We still put our minor 2, but now we have to put the Roman numeral 6. 2, 6. This would tell me that I want a G minor chord, but the third is in the bass, or the B flat. Okay? Once again, B flat to G creates a sixth, and that's where that number comes from. The bass note to that G creates a sixth. Okay. Second inversion. 2, still, 6, 4. That tells me that it's still a G minor chord, but now the D is in the bass. Let me show you what that sounds like. My awesome synthesizer over here. What I'm playing is G, B flat, D. Now I'm going to put that B flat in the bass to make it first inversion. It's still a minor chord. It still sounds to me like a G minor chord. However, B flat is now my lowest note. I'm going to bring that down here. There's our G minor chord with our B flat in the bass. There was our original root note, but now the third's in the bass. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you the second inversion with the D in the bass. It still sounds like a G minor chord, however, D is the lowest note, and then G, and then B flat. Okay. The reason why we do this is because when we've been writing songs so far, we've always been putting things into root position, which makes it really, really, really jumpy. It makes everything extremely jumpy, and we're going to show you that right now. Please write yourself a bass clef with a staff with plenty of room. No time signature, nothing like that. Okay, we're going to be doing a progression in G major. Okay, there's how many sharps in G major? 1. Very good. Okay, here's going to be your chord progression I want you to write out. 1, 5, 6, 2, 1, 5, 1. Figure out what these chords would be in the key of G, and then come back when you're ready. Okay, so here we have all our chords in root position. We built a whole crap load of snowmen. And notice, we are jumping everywhere. This would sound kind of weird if we were to play this. There's our original key. As a piano player, my left hand would be doing this the entire time, jumping up and down, and we don't really want that. We want to try to keep our hand in one position if we can. So, we're going to start using inversions now to make this a little bit easier on our eyes, on our hand, and for a singer in case they need to sing. A bass player doesn't want to go, do, sol, la, da, da, be, bom. It would just be so, it doesn't sound musical. You mostly want to try to move your bass line in scales, small skips, and if you do a large jump, you want to resolve it down the opposite way. Okay? No one wants to sing way around this whole thing like that. Okay, so.
Hey, you want a brownie?
I would love a brownie. Thank you.
Open it.
That's so mean.
Open it.
So mean. I'm done with this game.
It's a brownie.
Guess what? You're on my college class video.
I am?
Everyone got to see how mean you were.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Do you like it? It's a brownie. Get it?
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Whatever. Get out of here. Okay, sorry about that. So, we have our G major again. And now we're going to put it into different inversions to make it sound a little cleaner. What I want you to do is this now. Same chords, but we're going to invert them. Do 1, 5, 6, 6, 6. Sorry, I'm trying to read my notes here. Nope, 6, 6, 4. So, 5-6, which is first inversion, 6-6-4, second inversion, 2-6, 1-6-4, 5-7, oh, sorry, 5, 1. All right? See if you can figure that out. Pause the video, come back when you're ready. Quickly, this 5 should be not a 6 chord, it should be a 5-6-4 chord. I apologize for that. Okay, so what I have here is the same exact chords written out. However, now I've put them all into their inversions, and look what it does to the bass line. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, sol, do. It makes it much, much cleaner as far as we now have a scale on the bass line. That is much easier for a bassist to sing. It's also easier on your hand if you were to play it. It's going to sound exactly the same as this one. Well, not exactly the same. It's going to sound like the same quality of chords as this one does. However, now we have smooth, what's called voice leading. I'm going to explain what that is in a second. So take a look here. We have our G chord in root position, G, B, D, totally fine. Our 5-6-4 chord, our normal notes are D, F sharp, A. But now 6-4 means that the A is in the bass. And there we go. There's our A, there's our D, and there's our F sharp.
What?
Go away, I'm filming.
I was going to film you.
I'm filming right now.
Okay. Why can't I watch?
Now it's just awkward. Okay, now we have our 6-6-4 chord. Our normal notes would be E, G. Our normal notes would be E, G, B, creating an E minor chord. But now we have it in 6-4, which is second inversion. So now the fifth of the chord is in the bass, which would be our B. And then we have B, E, G. Our next chord is our 2-6 chord. Normally that would be A, C, E. Once again, we keep the same notes, so it has the same quality of chord. Still a minor chord. But now because it has a 6 next to the Roman numeral, that means we are in the first inversion, meaning the third of the chord is in the bass, which is our C. Now we have C, E, A. I'm sure you can figure out the rest of them, but it's G, B, D. 6-4, second inversion. Our fifth is in the bass, which is our D. D, G, and B. Our 5 chord, in root position, we build our snowman. And then finally, our 1 chord. I'll explain why I wrote it like this during our next class that we have together. Okay, good. Where's my erase it.
Why didn't you stop it?
Because I can't stop the video.
Why not?
Because it'll make 2 videos.
Huh?
It'll make 2 videos. You know what?
No, I want to watch. I want to watch you
Hate you
teach
so
music
much.
theory.
Hate you so much.
Why?
Because coming in here and bothering me. Alright, the last thing we're going to do today is 5-7 chords. What a 5-7 chord does is basically creates more tension on our dominant chord to make it want to resolve back to 1 even more. A 5/7 chord is going to be written like this. What this signifies is that if we are in the key of C major, our 5 chord, C, D, E, F, G, G is going to be our 5 chord, so we write our snowman, G, which I'm going to do this in bass clef, G, B, D. We have the 1, the 3, and the 5. What we do is we simply add the 7 on top of this, so we have a super large snowman. Okay? 1, 3, 5, and 7. We're only going to be worried about root position 5/7 chords for this class. And next class, the class after that, we'll be talking about how to invert this chord to make it smoother with voice leading. Okay. The 5/7 chord can be substituted to any 5 chord just to build more tension, but it should probably be given to chords that are later on in the phrase to make it more tense. You don't want to give away everything right off the bat. So maybe at the first part you want to use just a regular 5 chord, and towards the end of your phrase you have a 5/7 chord, so then it goes back to 1 even better. Alright, so why does the 5/7 chord create so much tension? Oh, by the way, this is 1, 3, 5 of the chord at the time. If we were to analyze this in C major, it would be 5, 7, 2, and 4. Crap, we gotta go. I'm going to be making another video on this later. Thanks, guys.